Tonight, continuing our Vote 2024 coverage, all eyes on that massive race in New York's 16th district. Westchester County Executive George Latimer tonight is taking selfies and shaking a lot of hands because he beat incumbent Jamaal Bowman.
Yeah, and right now News 12's Tara Rosenblum is joining us live right now with the winner himself for his first reaction. Tara?
That's right, Nikita, and Kevin, you got that right. There are about 500 people standing behind me waiting to give hugs and shake hands and congratulate George Latimer, but we were able to snag him to get his first reaction to his big win here in the 16th Democratic Congressional primary, the highest profile primary in the nation. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you, Tara. It's a little overwhelming, for me. This is from all the other times I've competed for county executive, state legislator, and so forth. There was never this kind of national attention. So now there is. It's a bit. I have friends of mine who I worked with 30 years ago are texting me, and so it is kind of amazing.
It wasn't just the eyes of the nation. We know that political observers across the globe were watching for these election results tonight. What story do these numbers tell? Break them down for us. Last I saw, I know I just asked you, were like, I have no idea the final numbers. Last I saw was 60% of the vote. You were ahead by 16 points. So the polls getting it right this time, I suppose.
Well, when I think the nation sees, if they look at this race, is what we've done in Westchester. We've been a force for unity. We've worked across the aisle very well between Democrats and Republicans. We've accomplished things, a lot of things. And we've also had a multicultural, look at our county legislator. We have our first Asian American, we have a Latino American, we have African Americans, women, a wide range of demographics and well representing the diversity of Westchester. That, to me, is a formula that can apply to the Democratic Party in the years to come. But what we do is, while we have our differences, our ideological differences, we don't let them divide us. We don't work to just work on a base and ignore the rest of the electorate.
Well, with that said, there's no denying how personal this race grew. I've been covering politics here 20 years, never saw a race this divisive. It was very clear your opponent didn't like you personally or professionally. There were ads calling you Genocide George. He literally called you a racist. Obviously, a majority of the voters in this district, they know you, they rejected that messaging. But take us behind the curtain now that you're on the other side, and in candid terms, tell us two things: what it was like to be at the center of such a heated battle, and how on earth do you turn the page, bring everyone under 110 after such a nasty sludge fest?
Well, keep in mind that when I began this race, when you first interviewed me on this race, I was loath to say anything negative about the incumbent. I talked about a different strategy of representation, and I held to that throughout most of the campaign. But in the debate that he and I had, you also saw when he interrupted me and when he tried to override me, and he said things that were absolutely untrue, but I tried to follow your rules. If there was a rebuttal time, I rebutted. If I didn't, I didn't. And I think I've shown throughout a willingness, as I said. Had I lost tonight, I was perfectly prepared to end the campaign and send everybody home. So the unity has to come from the other side as well. They have to be willing to say, George, you won fair and square. It's a large victory. It's an overwhelming statement. Now together we move forward. I can certainly work with people who supported Jamaal because we still have so many issues in common.
Let me get one last question in, because my producer's telling me I only have 20 seconds. We know, I know you've said this race was about so much more than Israel, but there's no denying the outsized role it played in the race. This is one of the largest concentration of Jewish voters in America. They came out in droves for you. So do these results serve as a political crystal ball, if you will, going into November? Are you worried if you're a progressive with similar vantage points as Jamaal Bowman?
Well, I think we saw in the polling data that came out, the public polling data, and it was backed by private polls, that the majority of residents, not just Jewish residents, but all residents, believe that there should be a ceasefire that includes the release of hostages. And to the extent that the more extreme position hasn't prioritized that, or that the extreme position for some length of time said that it was propaganda, that women were violated, they need to understand that the majority of Americans don't accept that. We do want peace. We do want a cessation of war, but it has to come with an understanding that what happened on October 7th was generated by Hamas. We can't gloss that over. I think that what President Biden is trying to do, and I'm not consulting with him every hour of the hour, is he's trying to negotiate between the Arab side of the street and the Israeli side of the street, and we should let that happen.
Have you heard from him yet? Okay, so Congressman Bowman has not called to concede to George Latimer yet. You're hearing it now for the first time, but certainly George Latimer taking a giant step forward in his pursuit of becoming Congressman Latimer, already in the history books as the longest winning elected official in New York State. So very exciting night for George Latimer and all of his supporters here, hundreds of supporters. I'll let you go shake hands, and a lot of people wanting to congratulate you. Back to you guys in the studio.